Hey, this is Pam Perry, and I am coming at you with another Speakers Magazine feature with Dr. Candyce Haynes, who I love and adore. We met 2 years ago at Dr. Stacy NC Grant's event, Faithpreneur Weekend, which is coming up this August virtually, but it'll still be fabulous. But I met Dr. Candyce. When I met her, actually, it was before I actually talked to her at Dr. Stacy's event, but I actually met her at Les Brown's event because she was running things. Okay. When I say she was running things, she was doing the video, she was doing speaker reels for authors on the spot. Okay. I love Dr. Candyce Haynes. So let me read you the formal bio. I gave you the background of who Dr. Candyce is, and we're live on Instagram. Hey, Marshall and B-Force and Levon. Hey, Levon. Wave at you guys here. So we're going to today talk about cameras, action, lighting, all that stuff, right? Because she is a business strategist, media proprietor, and product development coach. She is also the innovator behind the High Touch system, which has transformed the way thousands of business leaders across the globe connect and communicate with their clients and target audience. She is a former U.S. Marines Corps public affairs specialist and broadcast journalist. Yes, I did say U.S. Marines, right? And regarded as world-class media expert for business leaders who have a burning desire to take their business from good to great. Okay. She is also the producer. She was also a producer for Sesame Street and industry giants like Intel and Nestle, right? Dr. Haynes' passion is working with youth to bring their dreams to life. That's her passion, really. Don't let her get off going on into that, because that's one of the things. She works with school systems internationally to help students identify their unique gifts, and she believes every student has the ability to soar, especially those counted out by society. Her clients range from Emmy Award-winning speakers, like I said, Les Brown, to multi-million-dollar healthcare corporations. She's featured her outstanding work in world and numerous TV and radio programs, NPR, the Armed Forces Network, the Pentagon Channel, just on and on. And besides all of this, she is an earned PhD. She has a master's degree. She's got a lot of letters behind her name, right? And she's still a very young lady. And one of the things I like about Candyce is that she is an entrepreneur and she's an innovator. But today we're going to talk about video production. In this world post-pandemic, we have found ourselves not speaking from stages in places. We're speaking wherever we can speak, in front of a camera. And so me and Candyce, we talked the other day about how we need to have that lighting right, how we need to have certain looks, how we need to come across on video, because now all of a sudden it is showtime. So Dr. Candyce Haynes, welcome, welcome, welcome. And where are you?
I'm actually in New Jersey.
Okay, all right.
So, everybody, for those who know me know I reside in Florida. Mm-hmm. And so for the time being, I am summering in New Jersey. And so I've been really blessed and really grateful to just spend some time with some loved ones here during this pandemic. And nothing stops, even with these different things that are happening. The world is still moving, business is still growing, and we're having to find new ways to innovate how to connect with our clients, to innovate how we get our messages out there as speakers. A lot of speakers who may not have thought about it initially about keynoting. If keynoting was their primary source of income, you now can keynote. And if you had a strategist that worked with you that knew to say, hey, make sure you have multiple income streams, that you may have your book or an anthology. Make sure that you have online courses. Make sure that you have a mastermind. Make sure you have a membership club. Make sure you're able to sell through your website. I mean, these are all various things that, again, add value to your business. And so speaking isn't just about speaking. It's about leveraging. It's about stepping up. It's about going to the next level. It is so many different things that's about speaking. And so I'm just grateful to have been asked to be on this platform with you, Pam, because we're always brainstorming and sharing ideas and just talking about the different things that are going on in the world. And it's so critical today that you find a way to be creative and not competitive, because this is a different space. This is a totally different space than any other space we could have ever imagined being in before. This is an unprecedented, I don't know if I hear that one more time, these
but it is
uncertain times. These are unprecedented and uncertain times. There is a key and critical piece of the puzzle that lies within your ability to think outside the box and inside the message.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So in these unprecedented times, people have to be ready. We had to shelter in place for about, what, 16 weeks, something like that. And a lot of people were getting on Zoom who've never gone on Zoom before. They had to figure out how to download it. They didn't know what to do. It's like go to webinar, Zoom, Google Hangout, whatever. We got to figure out how this looks. So let's go over like some steps that people need to do to be camera ready. As a producer, as a TV producer, you know that's your thing. And I've seen Candice, I've seen you put together someone's speaker reel in a day. Girl, you bad mamma jamma. Okay. Some people spend like months figuring out their speaker reel, sometimes a year. And I'm like, just get it done. Call Candice. She'll get it done for you in a day. Okay. It's going to cost you some money, but you want it done, it's going to get done and it'll be done excellently. If you want to share your screen at any point, Candice, of any of the ones that you've done, but today we want to talk about how you show up on camera. Okay. So
sharing that's what you had the recording live from here. So I said, let me just go ahead and hit that share button. Y'all go ahead and share this with some people that you know can get some value out of it. Right now, we're about to give you the game free 99. And this is stuff that we do with our clients, both Pam and I, from the PR standpoint. And I want to preface the conversation with saying, hey, get your pen, get your paper, save this broadcast, because this is some things we're going to give you that I've been giving my private clients to be able to leverage and get their businesses ready to go for the new normal.
Yes.
Your new normal's got to step up your game. And so that's what we're going to give. I'm going to give that to you guys because Pam is such a blessing. And I know everyone in her circle, everyone she touches is here to change lives, is here to do some major things. And we can't afford for your message to be muffled or behind all the digital noise because you didn't have the tips and strategies to get you where you need to go.
Exactly. So Speakers Magazine, this is the podcast. So we've had like this person here, Kern Cherry. She's actually having a live event, which is at the end of July, beginning of August. But someone like a Dee Marshall, she had to postpone hers and hers was virtual. Dr. Stacy's is virtual. So let's talk about, you're going to go virtual with your event. You're going to bring guests on. What is the first thing that they have to do? Let me tell you one of the first things that I did, okay?
Go over you.
Okay. So one of the first things, so me and Candice talked this morning, it's like, girl, we're going to be live. So we got to get together. It's like, okay. And she's in New Jersey. Remember, she's not in her home. So the first thing for me, my space is different. It's a little bit different than it was a few years back. Before, behind me, I had bookcases that were very cluttered and I didn't have good lighting. And I also used to keep the window open and I realized that backlighting is not good. So I did change the look of my space so that it's more clean. You see the Speakers Magazine, which is Brandy in the background. That's Bishop Vashti on the cover, one of my favorite bishops. And then there's a pillow back there that says Dream Big. So I cleaned up my space. It's a very important thing because I've seen some Zooms where people will have their dirty clothes in the background, bed unmade, just a hot mess. So one of the first things I always tell people, and I'm not a makeup artist or anything, but one of the first things I always tell people to do, especially ladies, not men, unless you're that way, is get some eyelashes, okay? And we said that eyelashes, we both said at the same time, eyelashes change your look. They really do. They change your look. They have the type of eyelashes where they're magnetic. You take you kind of like an eyeliner, put it across your eye, and boop, it pops right on. Pops right on and stays on. That's number one. So eyelashes are important. For me, I also use this. This was something my daughter taught me. It's called Born This Way. It's by Too Faced. Okay. And basically it's under eye. What do you call it? Brightener. Okay. Everybody, unless you're like a baby, has under eye, your eyes are darker under. So this kind of brightens it up. All right. It's just something basic. So I've got my eyelashes. I've got my under eye. Now the eyebrows, you know, people always talk about eyebrows on fleek or whatever, whatever. So I always tell Candice, Dr. Candice, she looks like Cookie from Empire. You know, she kind of has that Cookie look with her, the way your eyebrows are is the way Cookie's are, right? So eyebrows are important. A lot of ladies, especially the older we get, the hair starts to leave the eyebrows. We need to fill them in, okay? Just fill in your eyebrows and then brush them, you know, that's it. And lipstick, that's it. That's really it. Eyebrows, eyelashes, lipstick, okay? That is the basics to show up and look like you're ready to shine online. It's not like you got to do all this contouring and all this stuff. Now, if you do want to do contouring, this is by Too Faced as well. And it's that highlighter type of stuff here. I don't know if you all can see this here. But that's kind of like one of the things where if you want to go a little bit extra, but at the very least, eyelashes will change the shape of your face, and so will the eyebrows, and you always got to have lips popping. And the reason why I say that is because when you're talking, you look at someone's eyes and you may look at their lips. So you're looking in someone's eyes. I'm looking at Candice's eyes and I see her lips. Her lipstick is popping with the red. I love the red lipstick. And you want to smile. And I always tell people, smile on camera. It looks a lot better when you smile. It is. Life will go better if you smile. So those are like the basics right there of like getting ready. Does it take me long? How long does all that take? 15 minutes. 15 minutes max. Brush your teeth, start doing other stuff. That's it. What about you?
I've done video conferences and coaching and stuff with pajama pants on. So it don't matter what's going on, but from here, so you want to say, you know, from the waist up, you want to have it together. Okay,
right.
When you put it down, that's your business.
So and don't let that camera drop.
Listen, just hold it, make sure it's placed in position. So there's two things that I do. The first one that I do is I try to scout out a space if I'm not at home. So Pam is in her home studio. I am not at home. I am in Jersey visiting with family. And so I don't have my normal setup where it would have been, again, my room has been properly soundproofed. I have certain microphones, certain things to give me a certain sound and a certain look. I have my ring light to give me that beauty glow. I don't have any of those things with me. So when we had this conversation about doing it, I really wanted to give you guys some bare bones information and some stuff here to where if you have nothing at home, you can makeshift your way into a professional looking broadcast. And I would say, you know, you see Pam's area there and you see mine. It has a very plain, clean background. There's no dirty laundry. There's nothing you can see behind me that's going to distract from what I'm saying to you. So now, as a subject matter expert, you can hear what I'm saying. So I scouted out a space. Now, I will tell you, this is not this is not a space that you would have thought about. But again, it gets with thinking outside the box and being creative. I am actually in the master bathroom. So I'm not going to pay attention around here, but this is the master bathroom. And I am actually sitting with the toilet seat down and I conversating with y'all. Y'all see the bathroom right? If I move slightly out the way, you can kind of see the bathroom right there. I positioned it so there's no bathroom. There's nothing distracting on this side. So that's why I'm more with my body on this side of the camera because I'm cognizant of what's going on behind me. I'm aware of what's going on behind me. And so if you get a little, if I move a little bit and you see a little bit of the bar, it's not going to grab you as far as if you saw a bar going completely behind my back. So I've angled the camera in a way that the lighting, the natural lighting in the room, right, is lighting me up. I did also beat my face, you know, did a little something really quick. It was probably 5 minutes. I just put on a base coat. As I say, put on a little foundation. I don't have any eyeliner on. That's really just the lashes. I put on some hair mousse so that my hair wasn't frizzy. And went ahead and laid that down. You know, I added some barrettes to my hair to just give it a little pop, right? So I'm 32, and it just depends on what audience you're in. This is more of it's a business casual space, so I make sure I have on a business casual type of attire, not something that's super distracting, but a couple different pieces that give a little bit of my personality and my look. Similar to how Pam's earrings are dangling, it, you know, it complements her face. It's not gaudy or too much, but it's enough that it looks attractive, it looks nice, and it's well put together.
That is one of the things. So
You got it in there?
Yes, I got it in there. So the other thing that is always important, I think it's called speedtest.com. It's for those that have internet issues. So it's preferably that you kind of do it from a laptop because it's bigger and that sort of thing. I use a webcam, a Logitech, I believe, webcam. So the sound and the camera are not the ones that came with the computer, but it's a Logitech. But speedtest.com will allow you to figure out what your speed of your internet is so that you're not dropping, that you're not freezing. I'm using the 5G extension for this internet, for this show, but then there's also an extender, and then I have the regular. So when I do the test, the 5G is stronger, and that's really important. Now, if you have a phone and your phone is like a 4G, you may want to upgrade to a 5G if you're just using your phone. You know, so all of those things matter in our new normal that we have, because those are the priceless things that are going to make a difference. Your internet speed, how you're positioning, how your lighting is looking. Candace talked about barrettes with your hair or whatever. Ladies, it's like, you know, when we're sheltering in place, we couldn't go to different places. You can go online, go to Amazon and order that particular wig if you need to, whatever you need to do. But yeah.
Damn. Facts. Okay.
Yes.
If
Yes.
you can't make it to the beauty salon, that's the next thing.
Yes.
People pivot to that. So for ladies, guys, we'll get to you in a second, but for ladies, if you couldn't go get your nails done because those shops and stuff are still closed, you can get you some lead press-ons.
Thank you.
At the grocery store.
Yes.
And so that your nails aren't looking crazy, or that you got chip polish. Like, we too old to have chip polish at this point. And think about it. Think about it. When you go to a restaurant and you walk in a restaurant and the servers have not cleaned the tables, does that restaurant look appetizing to you? Do you ate there? It's like the restaurant's dirty. And so, not saying that anyone's dirty, but if you're not well kept, how can you say that I'm the expert in this area and you don't even look like you got it together? How are you gonna help me get it together and you got it together? Like, those
press-on nails are the real deal.
Real quick, you can pop them on. Now, if you wash your hands, they're gonna pop off. I have had that during this pandemic with some of my YouTube shows. But you put them on right before you get ready, and your nails are beautiful and popping, and you're able to do your thing and be well put together. And it's really, really important. And the next thing was something I didn't want to skip over, Pam, that you had talked about, because I know we're going over all these cool points and we're kind of brainstorming on things that we've been seeing and things we've been consulting on, is the fact that you're using your Logitech webcam. I am actually just using the audio and the camera that's on my MacBook Air.
Wow.
So that's it. So I just opened the laptop, set it at an angle. As I said, I'm in a restroom and made sure the lighting was good, got myself together and got on here, and I just set it stable. Here's why it's important to have a stable setting, even if you're shooting with your iPhone, right? So I have two different iPhones, two of the 11 Pro and the 11. Right? If you're using an iPhone and that's all that you have, that's totally fine. But you need to sit it on a stable, set, perfect. A tripod. You can get a tripod on Amazon. I think what I'm going to do, Pam, is in my description, I'm going to go and highlight some of these things and then put them in the description so people can click on it and go and purchase it for themselves.
That's where I got this, was Amazon.
And it's $30. Sometimes some are $20. And you just sit it there, put on the tripod, and you let it record, and you go. And it's not you holding it. What happens is when you're holding it, your hand gets tired, you walk in or trying to give the word, and you're all over the place, and it's distracting because it's like I'm on an ocean, I'm on a boat, and it's like I can't even hear what you're saying because you're all over the place. So allowing yourself to be in a still space when you're wanting to give a message that you want to be received and you want people to be able to understand and share, something as simple as just setting it up on a tripod. If you don't have a tripod, I said I was in the bathroom, y'all. Use the soap dish. Okay?
Talk about being creative during a crisis.
Be creative. Use the soap dish, just like so. Done. Now this is now for me 17 years in media. Yes, I'm younger, but I started out broadcasting very early on. I started out doing stand-ups and having to set up the camera myself and walk in front of the camera and position myself and then do the news report for the United States Marine Corps and then walk around and see how I did and then come back and reposition myself. So you can be a one-man show It's just about being strategic in how you put your stuff together so that you can look like a professional at all times.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things about video is that you have to be confident. It has to come across. And the way that you come across as confident is doing these things. The preparation will make you confident, having knowledge about it. So like Candace said, she'll put notes below her show of where to get certain things. A ring light really is important. If you have a portable one. I have like this little portable light here, but you can also get a stand-up one as well.
Real quick, sorry, not to cut you off. If you want to just move the ring light for a second so they can see how much of a difference it makes in your lighting on your face.
Oh, right.
So that's
without it.
And when the ring light's back, now it just gives her a nice beauty glow right in various areas. Very nice. And it's very simple. That ring light, they have the little ones. I think that's the one you clipped on the computer. Yeah. You can get those for $10.
Yes. Makes such a big difference. If you're doing meetings all day, or if someone's going to pay you to do a webinar, you want to get paid to do webinars instead of keynotes, you definitely need to have like at least a mini studio in the house. Okay. Have a mini studio. So some of the basic things, so that when someone wants to, if you're a speaker, and so, people are paying you, they used to pay you to go on stages, and now it's like, well, can you just do a webinar? And it's like, okay, no problem. I'll just open up my laptop and I'll just jump on. It's so much more. They're expecting so much more. Now, Candace, I want you to talk a little bit about the Zoom backgrounds or the green screen background, because people can do what they call OBS, or they can do the eCam. You probably do eCam. Talk about those backgrounds, because I've been seeing a lot of people with these backgrounds, but if they don't do them right, they look scary. They look like they're coming out of stuff.
I'm like, I kind of looked at us, kind of side-eyed you a little bit, like, I cringe at that. I mean, green screens were always like such a big wave. Like people were just so about green screen. But green screens in the movies has a lot of lighting. There's backlighting, there's front lighting. In an interview, it's what they call a key lighting setup.
Yes.
There's a lot that goes into it, and you really need to know what you're doing to do that. I could have done a green screen, being, again, not in my studio, right? But I chose a hard background because I didn't want a green halo around my head, because I don't have the proper lighting for it in this space. I don't have that. This was not something, again, that we had planned out, like, going. So I didn't prepare for that. So I have to use the tools that I have, and use the space that I have, and be conscious that I want to be able to give the best possible message, give the best possible quality audio, and the best possible video. And the way that you do that is by, again, finding a clear, clean area that has a simple background and doing your thing. Sometimes the green screens, I think, can do more harm than good, because they look a little cheesy.
Yes.
They can come off looking, very kind of grainy, and they don't look up to date. So you might be popping all the way together, but then you got something going on in the background. It makes your video look like a 70s video or something like that. Yeah. It detracts from the message that you're trying to send. You can't have $1 million message and have, $2 production. You have to be able to take it out and make your productions look like $1 million productions. And I harp on this with clients, because I say, look at who's doing it successfully. Who is it that you would like to be like? Look at the Gary V's, look at, Grant Cardones or Les Brown or whomever, and look at how they film. They'll film with just a setup. They might be at a beach house, it'll be a camera right here, and you can see the beach or something nice in the background, but they're not doing that green screen stuff, because, again, it doesn't, when not done properly, I'm not going to say every time, but if it's not done properly and you don't have the expertise to set up those lighting and things like that, that might be a feature you just want to leave off for now. Maybe get a little training on it and then do it. I typically just stay away from it altogether, because it didn't make a major difference. I mean, this is a solid background. It adds, the look that I'm trying to give, and it gets the point across. And sometimes that's all you need.
And just to give an example, so I know those that listen to the podcast is just trying to figure, like, oh my God, I can't really see it. But I'm just going to do this virtual background that is done in Zoom, okay? And if you don't know what you're doing, you look like a ghost, right? You can't see me. And it's like, oh, okay, well, that doesn't work. It looks really cute if it was working, but I'm not doing that virtual background right. So I choose none. All right. And that's one of the main things, because this green screen would come out. There's one in Zoom. You can pick a background, but if you move your head a certain way, it'll cut you off. And so now it looks like half of your face or whatever. So it's like, oh my God, don't do it. So those are like really simple things, like don't do that. In terms of backgrounds, your branding. Let's talk about your branding background. If you're going to have branding background, and what irritates me the most is things that people are selling something or talking about something and the words are reversed. Remember, they're inverted. So let's talk about, if you're going to have branding in the background, make sure that you're looking at it so that it's not inverted. To the people who are watching it, they're like, what the heck does that say?
Backwards. And
so
then
how do they stop that? Or how does a person do that?
Well, first you would just start with looking at the camera, or looking at looking at your scene of how you're positioned in the scene, as if you were looking through the lens. So what are people seeing? And you would set yourself up in that way. That's exactly what I did in this space. I knew that there's a bar I'm not really going to be able to get rid of. There's only so much room. And so I positioned it that way. But looking at yours, a good thing to do is, before you go live, I just caution everybody, and please take this with love and in the intention.
Right, fear. Right.
Just take it with love. Is test your stuff before you go live. Like, sit for a second and see how it looks. And if it looks a little crazy when you first go live, go ahead and delete that and start again. Who knows? What, you had 3 people or 4 people to log on? You got a bigger following, you got 1,000 people log on, they're still gonna log right back in. Delete that mistake.
Yes.
There's people that saw it. Because when you keep going, now you got time for people to screenshot stuff and share stuff. And it might be a blunder that you don't want to follow you throughout your career. It might have been something, going on, and you don't want that. So just take the time to say, hey, let me look at this through my audience's lens. What is my audience seeing? And there might be some things in the scene, again, that are detracting. Maybe you really like it, right? But it doesn't go with what you're trying to do. So everything doesn't go everywhere. So being very strategic about how you place things in your scene. The next thing I would have done was to go, she just built this house. So there's not a lot of stuff in the house, but I would have added a flower right here. I would have just put a little vase right here. Add a little something to the scene for you to look at. It's like, oh, okay, well, she got a little flower.
I saw is Bishop Vashti, she did a live yesterday with her webinar, and she had 2 flowers on each side. She was in the middle, and it was clean, white wall, very clean, looked really, really good. Now I will talk about how we are both at the same level. So we both basically have, like, maybe from the bust up in our head, but then there's some people, make sure my dog's not here, that can be, I'll just show you where I'm further back, and now you see this much of me and only of you. So talk about, when you're doing side-by-side interviews, how people need to measure themselves, I guess you would say, if that's a word, but how much of headroom and bust that they need.
It really, I think it depends on the space. So if you notice from when we first logged in, you saw we were pretty much exactly in the same space. We didn't talk about it, or nothing. We just we know. Like, at this point, you want to be right here. Right. And so depending on how I'm sitting is going to depend on where my headroom is. My hair might get caught up a little bit, and I'll, go back to my resting position. But my camera is set up for my resting position. It's not set up for if I'm, what have you, because I'm going to go back here. So you don't want to have too much headroom where there's all this white wall above, right? And then it's just a talking head from the neck.
Ooh, we need to always see that neck.
It's like, it's too much space. Like, can you take this serious? You can see where I wasn't all the way to get.
No, I would know.
Look at this. It's like, back up a little bit. Go ahead, relax.
I've seen some videos like that, Candice.
You know, when it was like this and it was like,
yes.
See what you thinking?
Or they're up there, it's they're talking down at you like
and
this.
Because y'all, and so I want you to be motivated. And it's like, whoa.
No, you've got to.
What you had for breakfast, ma'am?
Yes.
Reel it on back. And so, I mean, it's all fun and games, guys, but these are things later when you look at stuff and you'll be like, "Ooh, why did I do that?" And you just didn't know. Like, you didn't know that it was coming off that way. And so a medium shot, this is what we call a medium shot. This is a medium shot, okay? We have two different medium shots. And so Pam is more centered in her shot, okay? It's still clean. You can see everything. You're getting a little bit of the window. You're getting a little bit of the picture in the background. You can see the big dream, big pillow, and everything in behind her is out of focus. But there's a little bit of depth of field going on, which is just
I love depth of field.
Yeah, it's very nice. You can get more of that with like film cameras and that kind of thing, but the Logitech seems to have picked it up very nicely. In this situation, I chose to be on one side of the third. So if you look at it, this is what I learned in broadcast school. I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of the game, okay? So your camera, your lens is split up into three, like this. One over here, one in the middle over here. So it's sectioned into three parts, okay? I am on this side of it. And so I'm talking here and here. And what may happen later on is we might go into post and I might add, you know, my logo. We might add a lower third, but you see people's names and stuff that come up. You may see those different things and it'll be more to this side, or I might add it over the shoulder to where we do some posts for the YouTube part and we'll have things pop up here.
I love that.
Okay? So that's why it's there. So we just wanted to give you guys some options, and you can kind of see what we see by seeing us put it into action. And this is exactly what we did. On top of that, as I said, I am in the bathroom. So I want to get anything that's behind me, like this little bar here, out of the way. So I just have that over here. I'm covering that. And then I have the option to have things like those fun little images pop up and stuff in here. And it's not going to be on top of me.
So how do the people do the fun little images? Are they eCam? Is it, because I know you're an editor. So would you suggest someone editing their own? Of course not, they can't do it. Then it's a whole nother job. So what would you suggest that they use?
I would use a professional person. If you're not at that point though, to where you can afford someone professional, you can try YouTube Studio. YouTube has had some really, really great advances now in showing how to edit, because they want their content creators to have more professional videos. So they're starting to make it a lot more user friendly.
Okay,
so
good.
to do that. On top of that, they have like programs like Canva and those different things to where you can add it in. If you're not a tech person, and again, you're not interested in the training or getting those things done, that's totally fine. But have a professional to do it for you. Oftentimes, you know, we'll have consults and things with clients, and they'll be like, we want you to do this, we want you to do this part of it. And it's like, okay, so essentially what you want me to do is you want me to build the phone for you, and you're gonna go and try to pull, you know, internet service and try to wire it and all that, and you don't know how to do that, but you're gonna try to do it. And so then it falls short. So now you can't make calls. Now you have a beautiful phone and you can't call nobody. You can't do anything with it. So they have a lot of beautiful video that just sits around or wasn't properly put together or placed because they didn't use a professional to get it done. So I always highly recommend to use a professional. Use someone who is going to give you the guidance and insight or train you on what to do successfully so that you don't make those kinds of mistakes. And they have articles and things everywhere. Pam, I know you teach this to your cohorts, these various tips and strategies that really make a major difference in how your production looks.
And talk about the lower third. That is, sometimes I see it, Dr. Candice, in the video itself when someone is going live, and then it's also in the post edit. So talk about the lower thirds in the live. So is that a software that people are using?
Yes.
Is it part of the platform that the person is using? How is that?
It really depends on what it's a software. So what they're doing is they're using a third-party source, similar to StreamYard. I was just a judge on the Raising a Mogul pitch competition where the young people were pitching, and they held their summit through the internet. They did it virtually, and so the kids were pitching. And so in StreamYard, you're able to broadcast. And the lower third, when you come in, so for example, when your guests come into StreamYard, Everything is, again, automated. If you have a professional help you set up, then you're off to the races. You know what you're doing, because I've seen those go terribly wrong too. But we'll go there in a second. We'll go to what went right this weekend. And so Tamara Zantel, she's the CEO of Raising a Mogul, and it was perfectly done. She sent out the links to the judges, and she's like, you click in, and when you click in, you put your own lower third. So it would say Dr. Candyce Haynes, international speaker, or if I was doing something in real estate, Dr. Candyce Haynes, real estate investor, it would say whatever is specific to what you're doing in that moment. So here, it would be Dr. Candyce Haynes, media strategist. Yes, I do all of those other things, but sometimes those lower thirds, we have a speaker, author, life changer, mom, dad, it's too much. You just need to use the lower third to get across the point on why you're there. So what are you an expert in this instance? So in this instant, it's Dr. Candyce Haynes, media strategist. And as Pam went into everything, now over 17 years of experience doing it internationally with many well-known speakers, and a lot of speakers know me because I've done their productions and done those various things. So lower thirds are an excellent tool to also get out information for your sponsors. So you can use those things. You can use the lower third, or you can use a crawl. So when we're saying lower third, you'll see the name come across here, and you will see a title. But also you can put, it might say the website, it might say Speakers Magazine, .com. It may have the information right there so that your audience is able to get the message, because no matter how many times you say something, or sometimes you may forget, guess what? Your audience may not understand what you're saying because we don't all speak exactly the same. And if you haven't had, broadcast training, or you're not used to speaking in a way that everyone can necessarily understand, you may have a Southern accent. When I first started in broadcast for the Marine Corps, I actually had to go through an entire process to remove my Southern drawl on words, because I spoke with a Southern drawl. And so you can tell people from California, from Cali, when they're talking about, I'm going to go get in the Corps. Like, you can hear certain things.
Yeah, New York definitely has their own.
Here in New York, you can tell when they're from New York. You know when people are from certain places. And so when you want to have something, and it might be distracting. So especially Southern people, right? It might be distracting to others because they don't understand really what you're saying, or maybe you're dropping letters of the word. So having a lower third and using that as a tool, that will make sure that your message gets across in a clean way, and it introduces your subject. So when this goes to post, those things will be there. Why? Because if someone's tuning in the middle of your broadcast, if someone's tuning in right now on the Facebook Live and they're just getting in, they're like, well, who's talking to Pam if they're on Pam's page? Or who is Candyce talking to if they're on my page? Right. So it gives them an opportunity, like in the description box, as soon as I shared it, I shared who I was speaking to and what we were talking about.
That's good. That is really good. So I am talking about that. If you're just tuning in, we're talking with Dr. Candyce Haynes, and you can go to CandyceHaynes.com, find out more about her. And actually there's I think it's a program. I want to say what is the youth program called? What is it? Race.
Oh, you're talking about Take Flight Academy.
Take Flight Academy, right. So you'll find out about her Take Flight Academy, which is one of the things that she's really passionate about as well, because she is definitely an empowerment person for youth. That's one of her main things. But we're going to quickly go over some of the things that speakers need to do when they want to show up and shine online. I always talk about shining online. They're so meticulous about pictures and all of that, but then when they show up for video, they look crazy. We're not saying you have to invest $10,000 in a studio, but if you were used to getting paid a lot of money to keynote, I would invest in some equipment, okay, to really put yourself head and shoulders above the rest. Invest in a in-home studio, maybe right camera, right lighting for sure, microphones. Sometimes, Candyce, you can have a lapel mic, which will be better for some people to use. I have one here that I use sometimes on my thing, but you want to make sure that if you're going to show up, that the lighting and the sound is right, the background is right. And some people said they use not stage people, but not interior designers, but help them with the background. But oh, is it? Can't think of it. Production houses or people who do staging. Those are the people that kind of help them with that. But if you are author and speaker, typically you have some kind of banner or you have some kind of
Hold on.
Okay.
Banners. Big thing.
Okay.
So if you use a banner or any of those things, you don't need the banner right up on you. You want it to be about the distance of where the frame is behind Pam and where you are. Yeah. You don't want it right behind you, especially if your face is on it, because then I'm looking at you and I'm looking at you.
I've seen that too. It's like, that's way too much.
We know who you are. We see both of y'all. Just move it back a little bit. Move it back here. You be up here. Still cute. I see both of y'all still, but it doesn't need to be right here up next to your face. Okay? So,
that too. So don't do that.
Just add a little space. Add a little distance.
That is so true. So you want to make sure your background is right. And then the other part is we talked about the basic quick 15-minute pull together, you know, lashes, you know, really magnetic ones or whatever, eyebrows. You want to make sure you get some kind of contouring, something like that. And I always don't leave home without my contouring, right? Under my eyes. That is one of the main things for me anyway. So that just kind of helps pull you together, because I think if you look better, you feel better, and you're going to sound better, right? If I were on here looking raggedy and I can see myself, I would not feel as confident, right? Because I didn't just roll out of bed and just jump on here. So those are the kind of things that you want to make sure that you're doing. Just like if you were a cover girl for any of the magazines, you're not going to just show up any kind of way. You're going to show up and put your best foot forward. So it's the same thing on video.
And I think online, once you go live and you broadcast and you put it out there, you never know who's recording your broadcast. And people aren't doing it to be malicious. It's just they might want to keep the information, and blunders that you didn't see or they didn't see, somebody else is going to see. So just show up and, you know, kind of make sure that you do your part to make sure that you're seen in the light you want to be seen in.
Because, so say for instance, if I were to do a screenshot, so let's both smile, Candice. I'm gonna do a screenshot. So I do a screenshot. It'll be on the Facebook page. It'll be like, oh, you know, but someone could screenshot us while we're just talking right now, and I could be, you know, not in. That's why you want to always smile, because someone could screenshot a shot of you not in the best way, right? It's like you can't brand check every single picture that people take of you. So you just, at the very most, you want to just continue to smile and shine. That's one of the things.
And I have to say, start before you hit that live button. Already be ready. Be here, and okay, before the live went live, I'm already here. I've already got it. And you might feel like, I feel a little crazy looking, but I'm smiling so hard. But what'll happen is, when you start out, even when you're smiling really hard, you'll go to your resting position in a soft, smiling position. You'll go to a natural smile. If you start out, you know, you'll naturally settle into that. But if you're like this, and that's how you're in, that's the screenshot. You know, people might get of it and they might not get the best impression, even though you might be in a great smiling mood. So smiling with your mouth and smiling with your eyes are just two really great ways. Your eyes can bring out a lot of light. They are the window to the soul. And so it gives people an opportunity to connect with you. It is so, so important to do these various things, because you can't touch, I can't touch you. I can't feel you. I can't smell your cologne or your perfume like I would normally be able to do. I'm not able to reach you. So it's only this virtual digital connection that we have to build. And so lashes, lips, and lights are a big thing.
Oh, I like that.
Like that? I was coming out with it. Lashes, lips, and lights. If the lighting is dark and people can't see you, right? That's distracting too. So finding a way for people to connect with you as if I am sitting in the room with Pam, we are able to kiki and have a good time, and it feels natural versus feeling like, you know, she's a world away. We're in two different states and two different homes, and who knows, you know, with all the things going on, when's the next time I'm actually going to sit down and be able to have lunch with my friend? It's going to be a thing. It's the same thing with your clients. If you built your business on word of mouth, right, and people refer to you that way, or if you're someone who has so much charisma and so much energy, that's what you bring to the table, you have to bring that to your videos. And
Yeah,
if you're someone who
that's
does
good.
not have those things, and you're not someone who is very outgoing or outspoken in those things, that's fine. You don't have to speak the way that I speak or the way that Pam speaks. We speak very differently. We have two very different energies. Pam is always a lot more demure and just graceful in the way that she puts things across. That's how she connects with people. Me, it depends on the audience. Sometimes I can be a Marine. I can be a drill sergeant when I'm speaking. So just finding your own comfortable niche and connecting with people and bringing your personality to the screen.
That is good.
That personality makes the difference, because when you come on there and you're just trying to deliver information and buy from me, and you're not really connecting with that value, people are like, let me just tune off to the next one. So your numbers will go from having, a couple hundred to like 2 or 3, because people are tuning out. They're tuning you out. So if you want to keep them engaged, you'll notice, this is the next point here, write this one down. Call out people's names as they're tuning in. You'll see people tuning in and say, hey, Pam. I see Pam. Pam is coming in from Detroit, because now you're talking directly to Pam. So you had it when you're on stage, right, Pam? You know how we do. So when you're on stage, you've had a chance to walk the room a little bit. You can connect with people. So you're talking about their stories on stage. Now they're tuning in on the live, so you can see their names. Acknowledge every person that comes into your room with a wave and a shout out in the middle of your presentation, and introduce it in a way that helps to prove your point, but keep them connected to your conversation.
Yes. So Giselle Bonds, who is on right now, she said she ordered a 100-foot Ethernet cord so that she can have it hardwired into her router at all times. And we were talking about that the other day, to making sure that your internet does not drop. Nana says it sounds really good. It says I'd like you to do my scenes. Octavia says I saw your videos on your youth doing their pitches, and Octavia said that you were very impressive, Dr. Candice. She said you were very yes. I can even bring her on camera too, so sometimes that's a little scary. It's like, okay, bring her on. Oh my God!
We gotta do it. We gotta get it wrong. We gotta get you.
So if I bring you on, are you ready? Are you camera ready, Octavia Evans? So if I bring you on, it's like, okay, what's gonna be going on?
That's a little scary. I'm like,
she just gave me a heart, like, yeah. So I don't think she's gonna come on, but always be camera ready. All right, be camera ready. Today it really matters. One of the things I want to say, when you put up a YouTube video, this is just a really housekeeping thing. It gives you 3 choices for a thumbnail.
Yeah.
So that's why Candice was saying this smile at the beginning. You never know which one YouTube is going to pull out as a thumbnail, and you have 3 choices. Now you can add one, but it doesn't have as much energy as actually seeing a person, knowing that it is a live video, because now it looks like, oh, it's just a picture and you don't know what that is. So when you have a thumbnail, you have 3 choices. Make sure you use the best one, that you're smiling for both the guests, not just you. You know how sometimes people say, oh, this is a good picture, and then the other person looks at it and it's like, no,
you look good. That's crazy. Don't do that to yourself. Like, man, my hair is popping, and you look. He done mess around and scratch his nose, so his thing look like this. That's not even right. That's not even right.
Right. It's like this is not a good picture because I look crazy. You look fine. You look, So you want to make sure those thumbnails are right. I will say this one story, and Giselle will know this too. Is Giselle's still here? That a long time ago, I used to have like a screen, the room divider behind me. It was like a 3-prong thing or whatever. And she says, oh, girl, you need to get rid of that. You look like something from the 1970s. I was like, really? I thought it was cute. She says, no, it doesn't look good. So when you have something that's behind you, it didn't have my branding on it. It was just like a room divider that was like an accordion type of thing. And she's like, no, that doesn't look good. So you have to keep playing around with different things of what looks good, but you do want to show up, if you're a speaker, the best you can be. You want to shine online, because this is part of our new normal. This is part of our branding now, and you need to learn it. So Candice, I'm going to end this with how people can get in touch with you if they need some media coaching, okay? Or if they need to know what kind of equipment they need to get, or if they need a speaker reel. Those are some of the things that you could do. A lot of times when I say media coaching, you will help people really deliver their sound bites so that they're not saying and duh and whatever. You know, those filler words that people say all the time. Hopefully I didn't say any, but a lot of times people will use those filler words. One filler word I can't stand all the time is my daughter. It's like. My daughter says that like, such and such like. It's like, okay, no, you know, like. I don't know what like. No, so don't give me you know like it as a filler word. So you coach people out of doing those type of things. I always said, go to Toastmasters. You know, learn how to speak better, but give them your information.
Practice is very key. Okay, so you guys can contact me on Dr. Candyce at Gmail. So, and it's Candyce with Y. So drcandyce@gmail.com. I have everything coming directly to me. I will not send you to the Movis Media email. Those things have been flooding over. Make sure that you do, you know, and those of you who do send me an email or contact me on Facebook at Candyce Haynes, it'll say the Speaker Pro. So Dr. Candyce Haynes, the Speaker Pro, hit me up on there. You can send me an inbox message. And what I'll do is I will send you some tips and strategies, this tips and strategies checklist. So the Movis Media tips and strategies checklist. And I'll talk to Pam. Maybe we can do something on including it, you know, in one of the mailers or in the magazine or something like that. So that this will be a tool that you can, any speaker really should have it in their toolbox, and knowing how to be able to position yourself and how to film yourself. You don't need a full camera crew. You don't need expensive equipment. All you need is a little strategy and positioning your message correctly. As I said, I round this back. I am in the master bathroom at a newly built house. And I got on here, hit the lighting. I don't have any other things going on behind me, but I was able to connect with you. And I wanted to do it this way, not because this was the only option, but if this is the only option for you, you can still get out there and make magic. Put the camera on the bathroom counter, sit down, put the toilet seat down, sit down, and do your thing.
That is it. That is it. I love it. And this was why I wanted to bring on Dr. Candyce Haynes, right? Because she knows this stuff. She runs it. I'm telling you, I saw her put together a speaker reel in a day, several of them. I'm still amazed at that. And it was like in their Dropbox that day. I'm like, this girl is bad. This girl is bad. And it sounds wonderful. It sounds wonderful. That she's meticulous about that because of the training of the sound and the lighting and all of that. So she was trained the old school way, but she knows the new school stuff too. Okay. All right. All right. Well, Dr. Candyce Haynes, thank you so much for coming on Speakers Magazine podcast. You want to find out more about Speakers Magazine, go to speakersmagazine.net and you'll find all of the issues there. And some of the I want to have you in there. I want you to do those tips in one of the upcoming issues. So maybe the August issue. Okay. So you could do that as well. Okay. All righty. Well, thank you so much. And thank you for Facebook Live for you guys coming over there. Stop that stream. And Candyce, I will talk with you soon.
Talk with you soon, Pam.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.